Jessie Pope's War Poems. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Jessie Pope's War Poems by Jessie Pope. The K.A. Boys. Durub, 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 durub. Kitchener's army on the march through Marylebone and Marble Arch. Men in motley, so to speak, been in training about a week, swinging easy toe and heel, game and gay and keen as steel. Durub, 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 durub. Norfolk jackets, city suits, some in shoes and some in boots. Clerk and sportsman, tough and nut, reach me downs and Bond Street cut. Typical kit of every kind, to show the life they've left behind. Durub, 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 durub. Marching by at an easy pace, the great adventure in every face. Raw if you like, but full of grit, snatching the chance to do their bit. Oh, I want to cheer and I want to cry, when Kitchener's boys go marching by. End of poem. Read by Alan Mapstone. No, by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. By bridge and battery, town and trench, they're fighting with bulldog pluck. Not one, from Tommy to General French, is down upon his luck. There are some who stand and some who fall, but how does the chorus go? That echoing chant in the hearts of all, are we downhearted? No! There's Jack, God bless him, upon the phone. His isn't an easy task to strike for England, to strike right home. So much no more does he ask. On the Dreadnought's deck where the big guns bark, or in quiet depths below, the salt wind wafts us a chanty. Hark! Are we downhearted? No! And what of the girl who is left behind, and the wife who misses her mates? Oh well, we've got our business to mind, though it's only to watch and wait. So we'll take what comes with a gallant heart, as we busily knit and sew, trying, God help us, to do our part. Are we downhearted? No. End of poem. Play the Game by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. 22 stalwarts in stripes and shorts, kicking a ball along, set in a square of leather-lung sports, 22,000 strong. Some of them shabby, some of them spruce, savagely clamorous all, hurling endearments, advice or abuse, at the muscular boys on the ball. Stark and stiff neath a stranger's sky, a few hundred miles away, war-worn khaki-clad figures lie, their faces rigid and grey. Stagger and drop where the bullets swarm, where the shrapnel is bursting loud. Die to keep England safe and warm, for a vigorous football crowd. Football's a sport, and a rare sport too. Don't make it a source of shame. Today there are worthier things to do. Englishmen, play the game. A truce to the league, a truce to the cup. Get to work with a gun. When our country's at war, we must all back up. It's the only thing to be done. End of poem. A Royal Cracksman by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. When the housebreaking business is slack, and cracksmen are finding it slow, for all the seasiders are back, and a great many more didn't go. Here's excellent news from the front, and joy in Bill Sykes's brigade. Things are looking up since the German Crown Prince has been giving a fillip to trade. His methods are quite up to date, displaying adroitness and dash. What he wants he collects in a crate, what he doesn't he's careful to smash. An historical chateau in France, with imperial ardour he loots, annexing the best and erasing the rest with the heels of his soldierly boots. Sykes reads the report with applause. It's quite an inspiring affair, but a sudden idea gives him pause. The Germans must stop over there. So he flutters a Union Jack to help to keep Englishmen steady, remarking his nibs mustn't crack English cribs. The profession is crowded already. End of poem. Lights Out by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Darkness expectant, discreet, only a lamp here and there, gloom in the clattering street, Stygian black in the square, dazzling fascias and fronts, scintillant skyscrapers banished, snuffed and shut down are the spangles of town. London has vanished. Only a few months ago, London woke up every night. Dances or chemin or show, festival vistas of light. Everywhere glitter and glare, junket and revelry keeping. Yes, but despite the laughter and light, London was sleeping. Searchlights are probing the skies, eastward their streamers are trailed. Masked are the city's bright eyes, even the tram-cars are veiled. Cockneys turn in at 11, stop press, thirst finally slaked. Turn the lights out, now, without doubt, London's awake. End of poem. The Outpost by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The dying sunset's slanting rays incarnadine the soldier's deed. His sturdy countenance betrays the bulldog breed. Not his to shun the stubborn fight, the struggle against cruel odds. Alone unaided 'tis a sight for men and gods. And now his back is bowed and bent, now stooping, now erect he stands, and now the red life-blood is sprent from both his hands. He takes his enemies on trust, as one who sees and yet is blind, for every mutilating thrust comes from behind. 'Tis done, the dying sun has gone, but triumph fills the soldier's breast. He's sewn his back brace button on, while fully dressed. End of poem. To a Taube by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Above the valley rich and fair, on flashing pinions glittering gay, you hover in the upper air, a bird of prey. Snarling across the empty blue, you curve and skim, you dip and soar, a dove in flight and shape and hue, the dove of war. Above the soldier and the slain, an armoured bird you hang on high, directed by a human brain, a human eye. A thirsty hunter out for blood, drinking adventure to the dregs, where hidden camps the country stud, you drop your eggs. Thus man, who reasons and invents, has inconsistently designed the conquest of the elements to kill his kind. End of poem. Ware Wire by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. When the beagles are running like steam, when the plough is as sticky as glue, when the scent is an absolute scream, and there's wire in the fence to get through, who waits to look after his pal? Hung up? Then he's out of the fun. Torn, muddy and blown, every man on his own. That's the time-honoured rule of the run. There's wire in the fences of France. There are bullets that whistle and spit. The word goes along to advance, and the wire clutches somebody's kit. Hold hard, I'll unhook you, old chap. No hurry, oh rubbish, what rot. Shots patter and thud, shells burst in the mud. Don't pull, now you're clear. No, you're not. Well, that is how the business is done. A sportsman will brook no delay. With hounds it's life and death run. He's out for himself all the way. But when black eternity gapes, there's time and there's patience enough. A case of Ware Wire and a pal under fire. No hurry, that's British-made stuff. End of poem. The Nut by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. He used to get, when in civilian state, his tea and shaving water sharp at 8. Then 10 delicious minutes would be spent in one last snooze of exquisite content. That cosy nest, luxuriously sprung, was like a cloud 'twixt earth and heaven hung. The eiderdown and blankets, soft and warm, were yet as light as spindrift in a storm. Unparalleled contingencies since then have found a soldier in the citizen. In inky tent he thrusts and coils each limb to make his one ewe blanket cover him. The Spartan methods of a scanty kit may make the budding soldier hard and fit, yet while he sleeps a chilliness of spine breeds harassed dreams of shun and right incline. Grumble? Not he, it's all a bit of fun. One blanket's better, as he says, than none. The same for him as other Tommies, but no disrespect in future for the nut. End of poem. The Vet by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Foe and friend and foe again, turning coat and turning yet, that's a feat you don't disdain. The Vet. England's easy, England's kind, quick to pardon and forget. There's a limit, as you'll find. The Vet. Glad to raise a fallen foe, ready to erase a debt. Quick to spare a traitor, no. The Vet. England trusts a solemn vow, that's her way, we don't regret. So be it, we know you now. The Vet. Treachery will miss its aim. You'll be learning, never fret, that it's best to play the game. The Vet. End of poem. An Overlord by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. There's a prominent person I must write a verse on. His ways are so strictly impartial. His power is great, his word carries weight in matters domestic and martial. He never takes sides, but roughshod he rides over General French and the Kaiser. Party spirit he shuns, he hinders the Huns, and makes Tommy sadder and wiser. When in genial mood he's so kindly and good, you'd never believe he could vary. But when out for a grumble, he's rough to your humble, and equally rude to Queen Mary. Entente and alliance endure his defiance, in mute resignation together. His name is suppressed, but you'll doubtless have guessed that by trade he's the clerk of the weather. End of poem. Socks by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Shining pins that dart and click in the fireside's sheltered peace, check the thoughts that cluster thick, 20 plain and then decrease. He was brave, well so was I, keen and merry, but his lip quivered when he said goodbye. Purl the seam stitch, purl and slip. Never used to living rough, lots of things he's got to learn. Wonder if he's warm enough. Knit 2, catch 2, knit 1, turn. Hark, the paper boys again. Wish that shout could be suppressed. Keeps one always on the strain. Knit off 9 and slip the rest. Wonder if he's fighting now, what he's done and where he's been. He'll come out on top somehow. Slip 1, knit 2, purl 14. End of poem. The Zeppelin Armada by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Today, since Zeppelins are in the air, and folks glance skywards as they go their ways, let us hark back a bit to an affair that happened in Queen Bess's sturdy days, when the Armada, backed by Spanish lust, A fleet that floating palaces resembled sailed proudly forth to crush us in the dust, while all the tremulous in England trembled. What was the fate of those unwieldy craft? Our little frigates made of British oak harassed the mighty galleons fore and aft, handy to strike and shun the counter-stroke. The great invasion ended in defeat. No more could Philip play the part of mocker. The rout of the Armada was complete, and down it went to Davy Jones's locker. What frigates did in 1558 may be repeated in the air today, when clumsy Zeppelins may meet their fate from aeroplanes that sting and dart away. A well-equipped and handy air patrol would circumvent an aerial attack. If London is to be the Zepp's goal, it's up to us to see they don't go back. End of poem. Comrades in Armlets by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Not theirs the popular uniform that takes the feminine heart by storm and wins soft glances, shy or warm, the perquisites of pluck. But there's the commonplace city kit, with a blue and white stripe round the sleeve of it, and a stout little truncheon to do the trick, if ever they have the luck. Not theirs to fight on the Allies' wing, or even to march with a soldierly swing, while the people are cheering like anything to the stirring roll of drums. But theirs to stand 'neath a pitchy sky, on a lonely beat with a vigilant eye for the skulking shape of a German spy who, bother him, never comes. By night they guard, though possibly bored, those places where light and water are stored, and since the family can't be ignored, business as usual by day. Though sport may be scanty compared with the blanks, they're doing their level, the armletted ranks, with no expectation of ha'porth or thanks, for that is the SC's way. End of poem. A Cossack Charge by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Cossacks, they're coming, the eager hooves are drumming, on glinting steel the autumn sunlight glances. The distant mass draws nearer, the surging line shows clearer, an angry tossing wave of mains and lances. The torrent opens wider, as one move horse and rider, one heart, one soul, one body, and one breath. The narrow eyes are laughing, the wine of war they're quaffing, the glorious draught of swift, resistless death. They've met them, they're through them, in writhing heaps they strew them, through breaking lines the whipping whirlwind crashes. Then pauselessly it flies on, away to the horizon, and disappears in distant, glinting flashes. End of poem. The War Budget by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Hodge waded through the weekly news. The income tax, he said. That's nowt to me, I shan't lose. 'Twill hit the boss instead. Lloyd George, he be the man for I. Us poor have nowt to bear. He paused, then gave a dismal cry. They're gonna tax my beer. A good thing too, replied his wife. 'Twill keep you from the pub, swilling each evening of your life, while I work at the tub. Across the ingle nook she reached, the welcome news to see, then in resentful clamour screeched, "Threepence a pound on tea." Moral. To foot the bill it's only fair that everyone should do their share, and since we all are served the same, pay and look pleasant. That's the game. End of poem. Captive Conquerors by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. It is reported that women in Stuttgart have been forbidden by military proclamation to cast amorous glances on the British prisoners. Oh, Stuttgart Frauleins and capacious Fraus, what shocking news is this that filters through? Have you been fostering domestic rows by casting naughtily glad eyes of blue at poor old Tommy in his prison house? Tut, tut, this is a pretty howdy-do. Anna and Gretchen, where's your strength of mind? Think of that khaki crowd whose force of arms bustles your goose-step legions from behind. These very captives should inspire alarms. You are indeed disloyal and unkind to fall a prey to their dishevelled charms. The gods have come among you, I admit, to make your jealous heron fume and fuss. Unkempt, unshaven, rather short of kit, the prisoners attract you even thus. But Fraus and Frauleins, what's the use of it? Their hearts, please understand, belong to us. End of poem. Captain von Muller by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. A skipper of mark was von Muller, the humorous naval leg puller. With ubiquitous ease he raided the seas, and his bag became fuller and fuller. Though now he is finally done, he had a nice little run for his money, and his victim's distress he would gently suppress with words that were sweeter than honey. The high seas brought hazards to suit him. His laurels not one will dispute him. No Briton could crow over such a game foe, and his enemy's flag will salute him. End of poem. The Two Goliaths by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Goliath was a giant, the bully of his side. His coat of mail was brazen, his face was fierce with pride. And when a shepherd stripling to challenge him was fain, 11-foot Goliath ignored him with disdain. But David didn't trouble, his heart was cool and glad, though a sling and rounded pebbles were the only arms he had. That slender slip of Jessie, he knew his cause was just, so he stood up to the bully and rolled him in the dust. Those days are gone forever, but the bully strain survives, though at the time of writing one can hardly say it thrives. The chant of chauvinism has become an idle yarn, like the negligible British since the Battle of the Marne. Our German-made Goliath taunted Tommy on his size, but the drubbing Tommy gave him has caused him much surprise, and a hasty memorandum in the Teuton mind is stored: the little British army must never be ignored. End of poem. The Blackest Lie by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Frankfurter Zeitung states that Belgium intrigued with England and France to drag Germany into war. Big bully Belgium, breathing blood and flame, crafty as a serpent, in a cunning game, sent a note to England, sent a note to France. Let us crush the fatherland while we have the chance. Poor little Germany, gentle land of peace, seeking the millennium when armaments shall cease. Rather grieved than angry, called her sons to fight, to protect their fatherland, as was only right. Hurry with the whitewash, pour it out in streams, bleach the ravaged country, Louvain, Antwerp, Reims. Belgium concocted war, thus deserves her fate. That's the blackest Teuton lie published up to date. End of poem. A Sing-Song by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Kaiser expressed a hope that the British might meet his Bavarians only once. 1,500 Bavarians have been captured at Ypres. 1. The Command. To his crack army corps 'twas the Kaiser who spoke. By Bavarians bold must the British be broke. 'Tis the hope of my heart they may meet you but once, to let the world see how Mynheer Atkins runs. So fill up your cups with Bavarian beer. Of contemptible armies the road you must clear. Then go for the British and show me some sport. Wipe them out of existence and send your report. 2. The Report. We met, 'twas in a crowd, and we thought that they would shun us. We stormed, they would not budge, but they started to gun us. They charged, we did not wait, there was no time to potter. We thought we were hot stuff, but the Tommies were hotter. We're nabbed, they've got us tight, and we're sadder and wiser. And you are the cause of this anguish, my Kaiser. End of poem. The Longest Odds by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Leonidas of Sparta, years gone by, with but a bare 300 of his braves, in the ravine of famed Thermopylae, held up the Persian army's endless waves. Smiling among the forest of his spears, "Lay down your arms," the haughty Circes cried. The Spartan's answer echoes down the years, "Come here and take them." So they fought and died. Horatius, the odds grow longer now, with two bold friends Lars Porsena defied. That dauntless trio registered a vow to hold the bridge that stemmed the Tiber's tide. Their deed of valour makes our bosoms glow, a deed which poets and chroniclers relate. 3 heroes held in check a bitter foe, and saved their city from a cruel fate. 1 Highlander, the longest odds of all, 1 man alone when all the rest were slain, carried the Maxim through the bullet's squall, and set it spitting at the foe again. Under its hail the Germans broke, they fled, 1 man, 1 gun, and yet they would not stay. Riddled with shot, his comrades found him dead. Dead? No, that Hieland laddie lives for aye. End of poem. A Dumb Appeal by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Blue Cross League, 58 Victoria Street, London, SW, is in need of funds. She was a pretty, nicely mannered mare, the children's pet, the master's pride and care, until a man in khaki came one day, looked at her teeth, and hurried her away. With other horses packed into a train, she hungered for her master's voice in vain, and later, led 'twixt planks that scare and slip, they slung her terrified on board a ship. Next came, where thumps and throbbing filled the air, her first experience of mal de mer, and when that oscillating trip was done, they hitched her up in traces to a gun. She worked and pulled and sweated with the best, a stranger now her glossy coat caressed, till flashing thunderstorms came bursting round, and spitting leaden hail bestrewed the ground. With quivering limbs and silky ears laid back, she feels a shock succeed a sharper crack, and, whinnying her pitiful surprise, staggers and falls, and tries in vain to rise. Alone, forsaken, on a foreign field, what moral does this little record yield? Who tends the wounded horses in the war? Well, that is what the Blue Cross League is for. End of poem. The Call by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Who's for the trench? Are you, my laddie? Who'll follow the French? Will you, my laddie? Who's fretting to begin? Who's going out to win? And who wants to save his skin? Do you, my laddie? Who's for the khaki suit? Are you, my laddie? Who longs to charge and shoot? Do you, my laddie? who's keen on getting fit, who means to show his grit, and who'd rather wait a bit. Would you, my laddie? Who'll earn the Empire's thanks? Will you, my laddie? Who'll swell the victor's ranks? Will you, my laddie? When that procession comes, banners and rolling drums, who'll stand and bite his thumbs? Will you, my laddie? End of poem. Little and Good by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Young Thompson was a bit too short, but hard as nails and level-headed, and in his soul the proper sort of dogged pluck was deeply bedded. To join the ranks he almost ran, but saw the weedy supersede him. Though he was every inch a man, his country didn't need him. He read each passionate appeal on wall and window, cab and cart, how impotent they made him feel. He tried once more, though sick at heart. In vain he saw the sergeant smirk. He argued, but they would not heed him, so sullenly trudged back to work. His country didn't need him. But now the standard height's curtailed. Again he goes to join the ranks. Though yesterday he tried and failed, today they welcome him with thanks. Apparently he's just as small, but since his size no more impedes him, in spirit he is 6 foot tall, because his country needs him. End of poem. Marching to Germany by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. To be sung to the tune of Marching Through Georgia. Swing along together, lads, we'll have a little song. Kits won't be so heavy and the way won't be so long. We're gonna cook the sausages and cook 'em hot and strong, while we go marching to Germany. Hurrah, hurrah for Berlin on the spree. Hurrah, hurrah, there's sausages for tea. We're out to catch the Kaiser and bring him to his knee, while we go marching to Germany. How the girls will love us as they see us marching by. Some of them are saucy ones and some of them are shy. Guess they know we're cold and wet to keep them warm and dry, while we go marching to Germany. Hurrah, hurrah for Berlin on the spree. Hurrah, hurrah, there's sausages for tea. We're out to catch the Kaiser and bring him to his knee, while we go marching to Germany. What about the slacker chaps who look before they leap? Lads who like to save their skins and have their proper sleep? Let them put on petticoats and feel a little cheap, while we go marching to Germany. Hurrah, hurrah for Berlin on the spree. Hurrah, hurrah, there's sausages for tea. We're out to catch the Kaiser and bring him to his knee, while we go marching to Germany. Britain's little army can be swept away like fluff. That's the Kaiser's fairy tale. We'll give the beggars snuff. Rattle 'em and bustle 'em and make 'em shout enough, while we go marching to Germany. Hurrah, hurrah for Berlin on the spree. Hurrah, hurrah, there's sausages for tea. We're out to catch the Kaiser and to bring him to his knee, while we go marching to Germany. End of poem. The Silent Camp by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. In heaven a pale uncertain star through sullen vapour peeps, on earth extended wide and far, in all the symmetry of war, a weary army sleeps. The heavy-hearted pall of night obliterates the lines, save where a dying campfire's light leaps up and flares a moment bright, then once again declines. Black solemn peace is brooding low, peace still unbroken, when there comes a sound, an ebb and flow, the steady breathing deep and slow of 500,000 men. The pregnant dawn is drawing nigh, the dawn of power or pain, but now, beneath the mournful sky, in sleep's maternal arms they lie, like children once again. End of poem. Loot by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. When Blucher helped us make an end of Bonaparte, the common foe, he came to England as a friend about 100 years ago. The sight of London fired his breast. He gazed with eagerness and wonder, and brimming with Teutonic zest, he cried, "Oh, what a town to plunder!" Der Tag, however, was not yet. A century has passed away. Blucher has settled nature's debt, but his example lives today and kindles in the German mind an altar that there's no uprooting, where love of power is enshrined, together with a love of looting. They spoil and pillage, smash and swill, and helpless cities they have wrecked must willy-nilly pay the bill for the delights of being sacked. That motto, blood and iron, is done. A newer one must be enscrolled. The carte de visite of the Hun should now be printed, blood and gold. End of poem. Bobs by Jessie Pope. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The call came in the stormy night, beneath a stranger's sky. The soldier of a lifelong fight, still fighting, went to die. His country's honour was his goal, patient, unswerving, brave. His mind, his heart, his work, his soul, his very all he gave. He toiled to rouse us from our sleep, and now he takes his rest, and we, it is not ours to weep, but follow his behest. 'Tis ours to make this matter plain, that though our Bobs has gone, though dust returns to dust again, his soul goes marching on. End of poem. Read by Alan Mapstone in Oxford, England. End of Jessie Pope's War Poems by Jessie Pope.